You reached a special episode of the Kickin with Kysii show, and today we're going to be simulcasting Doug Stewart on 92.9 The Game. So I will be weighing in every now and then, but this right here will be a simulcast that will be going. Thanks for everybody for joining.
Former colleague Lane Kiffin joined.
Let's get it. How's everybody doing there? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be simulcasting here on Doug's network. Hopefully this thing don't do all this hourglass like it's doing right now, but it's all good. Yeah, it's a good thing, man. He actually had this opportunity. That's the opportunity to be able to
On the game.
to actually get on and do his thing. Hopefully this thing stays good and you don't lose the connection.
92.9 The Game.
So now, I'm out as far as I'm like.
He'll beat Nikovic to the end zone. And goals. 92.9 The Game.
Yeah. Is this thing on? All right. The Doug Stewart Show, 92.9 style, pilot episode, the return of an OG. Let's get it, Wendy.
And of course we would start the show like this with an audio malfunction because that's just the way it rolls sometimes here, Doug.
So
hang on
live?
1 second. We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah, let's have
Hold on.
let's do cut 2.
Because I feel like we need a proper introduction here. And when one system fails,
You see how you try to set things up?
I know, I feel like I'm already starting out on the wrong foot with you, and we just met not that long ago.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, do it.
again.
Just go ahead and hit it. Let's go. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. 92.9 The Game. Thank you for joining your boy, man. This is a Throwback Thursday, and yes, it is your folk. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. Now, we got past a little snafu at the beginning, Wendy. We good to go, right?
Things happen.
Things happen.
And life just continues.
This is live radio. So, yes, this is Doug Stewart. If you were saying to yourself, Doug Stewart, the Stews? Where they been at? We've been here, man. We've been right here. And we're about to do this radio thing, man, with 92.9 The Game. Thank you so much for joining me. So much to get into. I think that what I need to do first is just to say thank you. First, thank you to Wendy for fixing the little snafu at the beginning. We got it together.
I already said it. I already have your back. Whatever you need.
Right. We good.
I
We
got
good.
you.
So I want to say thank you to a couple people, man. I've talked about this a couple of days on my social media and letting Atlanta know and the Stewies and the dogs and the poodles know that I was doing this show on 92.9 The Game. But I definitely want to say thank you for the opportunity to Terry Fox, which is the program director here, Sean Thompson, you, Wendy, once again, Jason Marks, Walter Pollard. Those are guys I'm going to be working with tonight and tomorrow night as well. And yeah, this is the Doug Stewart Show here on 92.9 The Game, and looking forward to working with these guys for the next couple of days. If you don't know anything about me, like maybe you're just a 92.9 listener, and you're like, who is this guy? What is he talking about? They messed up his music already at the beginning. What's the matter with that guy? Is he crazy? No. My name is Doug Stewart. I used to host a show here in Atlanta with my brother Ryan Stewart for over 10 years. Right at 11 years, a little bit over 11 years exactly, to be exact. And very successful show. We started out in 2001, which we'll talk more about here in a second. Very successful show. We had a very nice long run, 11 plus years, maybe 5 years on ESPN for ESPN's First Take. Yes, First Take before it was First Take. We actually did First Take, for people that don't know me, when it was Cold Pizza. That's right. Before it even went to ESPN First Take and then moved to Bristol, Connecticut, which is something I hated about that whole thing. So we battled, and I battled with Skip Bayless, man. for a couple of years and doing that TV show. Our show was syndicated nationally. We did a bunch of big things. What the Doug Stewart Show is all about is fun. If you've never heard my show, and I've been doing an online radio show for the last couple of years, if you've never heard my show is basically fun. It's about sports, obviously, but it's also guy talk. You know, I've always had this thought that, you know, sports and sports talk radio should be more than just sports. I know, because a lot of times sports can get mundane. A lot of times there's most of the facts and the figures that you can find, the stats or whatever you can find online or yourself. But what about the fun side, an entertaining radio show? So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get sports. You're going to get guy talk. You're going to get entertainment, pop culture, hip-hop culture. We take a lot of phone calls. And then the big thing is Falcons, Braves, and Atlanta Hawks. So I've been in this city now for, I think, 22 years, right at 22 years, from the great state of South Carolina. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, 92.9 The Game, from the great state of South Carolina. And I've been here for like 22 years. Absolutely love Atlanta sports. Have really entrenched myself in Atlanta sports. The Falcons, the Hawks, and the Braves. Now we got the Atlanta United. So you're gonna have the number one show in the city very soon where Atlanta sports fans can come. And at the same time, oh my gosh, trust me, clowning, laughing, bits, some of the best guests you can think of. Speaking of which, tonight on the Doug Stewart Show, the first episode, the pilot episode, we're going to talk to former Atlanta Falcon great, and I will call him great, went to several Pro Bowlers. We're going to talk to the great Algie Crumpler tonight. That should be good. Algie's actually on vacation, but he agreed to come on and talk with us. Throwback Thursday is what we call today's show. Every Thursday we do Throwback. Thursday, we go back to a particular year. And listen, Wendy, a lot of people, you may not know this, but we actually came up with Throwback Thursday, no lie.
Oh, you were the original.
Yes.
We were the hashtag TV.
We were the originator of TV. Giants, I believe. Yeah, they beat the Giants that year. So we'll talk about things, events, sporting, entertainment, and beyond that happened in 2001. Coming back from the breaks, we got music from 2001, some of the hot tracks from that particular year as well. And also, and this is the big thing, I urge you to call the show. I urge you to call the show. Tell your boy what's up. You can go on the Solomon Brothers Diamond text line at 404-741-0929 as well. You can call the show at 404-741-0929. That's right. You can call the show at 404-741-0929 as well. We're brought to you about as well the hotline where Algie Crumpler is going to call a little bit later today. And so a lot of fun. So we have these different themes. Today is Throwback Thursday. Friday is a fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday where we really in a one. What else we got planned for you today, man? Hour number 3 of the Doug Stewart Show tonight, around 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Birthdays, entertainment. Rudy coming for a former Falcon. And when a middle finger ain't a middle finger. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about that story with the New York Mets. We'll talk about that. And also what the sports stories that we're going to hit today. What everybody else does. I always say I'm not the Lone Ranger. I'm not the only person talking about these sports, but some of the biggest stories that we're going to talk about, obviously the number one story and the biggest story of the day is Game 1 of the NBA Finals start tonight. We will break that game to like no one else has broken it down for you today. No one else. We are going to give you everything and anything you need to know about the NBA Finals tonight. We'll also have some Atlanta Falcons talk. Don Terry Poe better eat a lot of the stewies, a lot of the dogs and poodles, as we used to call them back in the day on the 2 Live Stews. And we're going to do what we do here on the Doug
The dogs
Stewart
and the poodles.
Show. Yeah, that's what we used to call them. So our show was, we called it the Dog House. And the listeners were the dogs and the poodles. Now they're kind of graduated to the Stewettes, you know?
All right.
Yeah. And so that's what we do around here. That's just my folk. That's my folks. So we got a lot of them on the line. So we'll take some calls. But when we get back from the break, we got to jump into the NBA Finals. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on who do I like to win, who do I want to win. And we'll also break down and give you any and everything you need to know about the NBA Finals. I'm telling you, I got some little tidbits for you, man, that you are going to absolutely love about this series. KD tucked his tail between his legs and ran to Golden State. I'm not going to get into that right now, but we'll talk about that later. We got an episode called Chop It Up, a segment called Chop It Up later in the show, where I'm actually going to chop somebody up to pieces. It actually calls it Chop Shop. I did something else called it Chop It Up. But yeah, Chop It Up. Later on today in the show, back in a few minutes, you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, 92.9 The Game.
Because freshly shelled peanuts seem to taste better at the ballpark.
Get your peanuts here. Peanuts. Peanuts. Because taking in an afternoon game with your kids.
Switch over to the CBS radio app because this thing was absolutely insane. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over, give y'all a better connection here because this one sucked and it's got me pissed off. It's messing up on all the dang on connections, which don't make no sense to me. So I'm gonna hook up the CBS radio app for you, and you'll be able to hear it. Hopefully, it's better. So give me one moment to get that straight. Right now they're on commercial break, and you got your boy here at here on the commercial break. And see if I can make this thing